Exit 8 movie review, Japanese horror thriller game based on a video game. So, spoiler alert. Movie starts off with a guy on the train during rush hour. He's kind of doing a normal thing where it's really crowded, and then there's a woman with a baby, and the baby starts crying, and some other businessman starts screaming at her, and everybody just kind of ignores it and goes about their day. Guy gets off the train, and then he finds himself in a loop, trying to find the exit 8. I've never played a video game, so I don't know what that's like, so I'm just going to review it as a movie. So I would say 5 out of 10 stars, just off of the fluid motion of the movie. The movie focuses on the main character, the lost man. Does he even have a name? I don't even remember, but before he gets to the exit, he has a conversation on the phone with his ex-girlfriend, and she says she's pregnant. And then she says, "What will you do?" Which is kind of a vague question, but I guess the meaning is, will you be the father or not, is what they get at towards the end. And then he bumps into someone, drops his phone, and then he gets into the exit loop like an Escher painting. There's a poster of an Escher art in one of the exits, or in the main exit that he's trying to get out of. So he goes into a loop for, a good first 40 minutes or so of the movie is that part. And then suddenly the movie switches over to another character who we've seen in the movie just walking up and down the hallway. Kind of freaky appearance too. When you see him, he's part of the loop, and then he suddenly becomes the anomaly, one of the anomalies. If you want to exit the loop, you have to notice anomalies that are part of the walking tunnel area. So then the movie focuses on that guy, and that guy meets a little boy who's part of the loop or not part of the loop. That's kind of a mystery, like why the little boy got lost. It's kind of a philosophical idea that this little boy is the unborn child that these men are encountering. So the guy walks around with a child, and then he meets like a schoolgirl person who turns out to be the anomaly, because she says, "Why don't you stay here? It's better here. You don't want to go back to your normal life." So the idea is now that I think about it, I'm wondering that guy had the affair with this school girl looking woman who looks like she's 25, but now that I think about it, maybe he had an affair with her and then she got pregnant and then he didn't want to accept it, because that guy tries to exit and then he thinks he finds the loop and then he goes out exit 8, but actually it's the anomaly. So maybe that was him not accepting the role of being a father, and negative things happen to him. So that guy goes off, we don't see him again, and then it focuses on the boy, which is kind of annoying because he doesn't talk, and then you kind of get the feeling like, well, that boy's not going to die, so I guess he's going to survive the rest of the movie, and that's kind of And then the shift focuses on to being a father, what it's like to be a father, feeling first time. And then that kind of puts the focus on that, and then the thrill of the movie kind of goes away, because you know that the boy is going to survive, and then probably the man is going to survive too. They try to throw you off a little bit by making him disappear for a scene or two. The boy finds exit 8, supposedly. We see him walking down the tunnel, but we don't really see him go into an exit. And then the next scene, the main guy, the lost man, he appears, and then he seems to find the exit, but it's going down instead of up. The man who went up the stairs into the white lights seemingly had a bad ending, which is strange. So the lost man goes down into the stairs, and then it seems like he's back into his normal world. He buys a bottle of water, and then we see the posters from earlier in the movie, so kind of wondering if things are correct or not, or is he in hell or purgatory or something. And then instead of going out to the exit, which is where all the people are going, because that's what he did before, he decides to get back on the train. And then it repeats again the beginning. Woman on train with crying baby, guy yelling, but then this time, right at the very end, he turns his head and it seems like he's going to do something about that situation. So then he's going back into the real world, or is he stuck in a new loop? That's kind of a open-ended question that the movie leaves you with. So give it 5 out of 10 because it was thrilling, and then they switched the character, and then kind of okay for a little bit, but then it switched again to another character focus, and then that was like, you're killing the momentum of the movie. Like, especially I want a character that's talking when I'm watching the movie, so. And then they never explained why that one schoolgirl character was there at all. She never had a backstory or anything, so that was kind of like, what's that about? So yeah, could have been better, more thrilling, and pacing. Yeah, the pacing was off, so. Ending was kind of open-ended. Not really sure if he's in the loop again or if he's made it out successfully, really. And lots of focus on being a father for the first time. So that was kind of unexpected. So I never played the video games. I don't know if it's different from that, but I'd say it's worth checking out if you want to see the Japanese horror thriller kind of movie. Not for kids, because there are some scenes that are kind of gross. I don't want to give it away, but it's definitely not a kids movie. Adult-themed thinking movie, so yeah, I would check it out if you have time. Adios.